welcome back to Bucktown Cooks on this beautiful Wednesday. Today we have the distinct privilege, the overwhelming privilege to welcome Mr. Brad Creswell. 22 years teaching in J. Roberts School District, teaches middle school history, a graduate and alumni of J. Roberts, and anything else you want me to tell about you?
That's all they need to know.
Mr. Creswell is coming to us today with his signature recipe, roasted vegetables. So before we talk about this, let's talk about like middle school track.
Middle school track is not a good memory for me.
Why? Because you ran
Just
with
like
me?
food's not a good memory for me because I was a very picky eater. So when you ask me questions about my memories of food, I don't have great memories because I'm a picky eater. I don't have great memories of middle school track either because I was a very picky runner. I didn't like to run that much when I was in middle school.
All I remember is
however, were a standout.
All I remember is hitting my shins on the hurdles, and I could never make it over them.
I was too small to make it over the hurdles, so I probably didn't even try it.
So killing in the name of, why?
Yes. That was the first song on my college soccer mixtape. Like back when we went to school, there was cassettes and CDs. And,
mixed cassette.
So we had a mixed cassette, and that was the first song that I put on it to kind of get me pumped up for a soccer game.
Awesome. So now you're pumped up.
Now I needed to get pumped up to come in and make some steamed vegetables.
Miss Stauffenberg, do you know what a mixtape is?
I do. I'm not that old. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. All right, so let's start at the beginning here.
Okay.
Do we want to preheat the oven first? Is that
Yes,
the
we
first
want
thing
to
you wanna do?
preheat the oven to 425 degrees.
Okay. Oh, yep, there's no oven over there. When I came here, they used to have an oven over there. So we're going to do bake 425, which is kind of high, but I'm guessing it's because...
So I like my vegetables to be a little bit on the crispier or crunchier side. So I try to keep them in a little higher temperature for a little bit longer. And it's still, the yellow squash, no matter how long I cook it or for how long, it's never going to be as crispy or crunchy as I like it to be. But broccoli is my favorite vegetable, so this makes the broccoli like nice and...
Broccoli almost turns out to be like a chip when you roast it at that high of a temperature.
And now, I will say 425 degrees is what I put my oven on at home, but this oven is probably a little bit better than the oven that I have at my house, so it might be actually a little bit stronger.
Okay.
Who knows?
So one of the things I love about what we're doing here today, these are all Mr. Creswell suggestions, by the way, is that we're really eating the rainbow. And what I mean by that is one of the things that makes you healthy or helps you to be healthy is that you eat a variety of foods, particularly fruits and vegetables of a variety of different colors. That's one of the ways that doctors and nutritionists say you can kind of gauge whether or not you're eating healthy. So we've got many different colors here, which represent many different vitamins. So that's good stuff. So how are we going to start here? I'm assuming you have a plan.
I never have a plan. I just do whatever the first thing is that I grab. So
first thing you grab.
First thing I grab is broccoli. So now again, I'm picky the way I do it. So when I cut the broccoli, I like to leave a lot of the stalk off, and I just break the tops off.
So I'm going to do the cauliflower the same way, I'm assuming?
And I would do the cauliflower the exact same way. Now, I would recommend that you don't put this down your garbage disposal at home because that can make a very nasty noise and can maybe even break your garbage disposal. Not saying that that's happened to me, but I'm not saying that it hasn't happened to me yet either. Do we have a bowl or something that we could put these in?
Did you tell me when you did a bowl?
I don't remember if I did or not. I hate to make an extra dish to do, but perfect.
Bowl.
So I like to put them in a bowl because that way I can sprinkle in the...
Do we put this in whole or are you going to cut that
See, I cut it into smaller pieces too, just because you can see the size that Miss Colbert has. Now I'm going to just grab one of these off of here and I'm going to cut it into even smaller pieces just because once I get it out of the oven and I'm ready to eat it, I don't want to have to use anything but a fork. So I cut it into small pieces.
Less to wash.
Too big. Too big. Small bites. We need to slow down and we need to take our time when we eat. We have to eat so fast when we're here in school. So when I go home, I like to just sit out on my deck with nothing else but my food in front of me and just take my time, small bites, and chew it because that way we don't have as much acid reflux and everything else.
Indigestion. You don't overeat as much if you slow down as well.
Absolutely,
you know that, Mr.
because
Creswell?
it takes you 20 minutes for your belly to register with your brain that you're full.
That's
so
right.
if you eat slower,
That's
you're not going to eat as much.
You'll eat less. this
All right,
is
so
all
I'm gonna
about-
go with the red pepper next.
Yep.
Have these all been rinsed ahead of time?
Look who you're
Perfect.
talking to.
All right,
Look
just
who you're
making
ta-
sure.
Yep.
Just making sure that that our friends at home are making sure that they're washing their vegetables, because
And we washed our hands before we touched these.
I don't know if you know this or not, Miss Colbert, but
I know everything.
while some of the outsides of the vegetables have the most nutrients, they also have a lot of the pesticides
Yes.
in them. So we definitely need to wash them off
That's true.
first.
And if you can afford it, it's always good to buy organic. It's not always the most affordable way to go,
Exactly.
but there are certain things like berries and apples that tend to have a lot of pesticides that are good to buy organic.
Now, for my red peppers here, these I cut into small pieces because one of the reasons I'm such a picky eater is because I don't like the consistency of certain foods. Like if something's too mushy, I don't like it. And red peppers are going to get mushy, so I like to cut them up into smaller pieces. And sometimes what I'll do is I'll mix them with another vegetable, like on the same fork I'll have a red pepper and a cauliflower so that it's a little bit crunchier for me instead of being soft.
So for being a picky eater, it surprises me that you picked a vegetable dish, because when I envision a picky eater, lots of times I think somebody who does not like vegetables. So I guess I'm wrong on that.
Sort of. Like I don't like vegetables that much, but I've been such a picky eater my whole life, and I want to try and make up for that by being healthier. So instead of picking something like cinnamon rolls to cook in front of all of the kids that are in the audience at home, I tried to pick something healthy.
Which another teacher did.
So,
Not to the right side. Yes, under the...
so, but yes, I don't usually like vegetables very much, and this is why I do the roasted vegetables also, because now I have them all prepared, and then I can just get them out and reheat them every week, every day, so that I have enough for the whole week.
So speaking of picky eater, Miss Stauffenberg is a picky eater. You think she'll like this?
No.
What am I doing with the carrots? Am I doing coins? Am I doing strips?
I don't know, because I buy baby carrots just so that I can have them cut, and I just chop them in half.
You could take a step out of this and buy baby carrots.
Yes.
We're just gonna do.
But that's, yeah, I'm gonna cut them a little smaller than that, because carrots are like.
I'm not cutting it that big. I'm cutting it in strips here. Give me a break here.
Now here's my problem with carrots, because I had some. That's perfect. That's actually really good.
That's kind of how I
Now
do.
you might make me want to start buying regular carrots.
And you gotta
do it
just
that
watch.
way instead.
Gotta watch your fingers. So I'm putting a knife between my fingers in this case, because a carrot's gonna roll. But watch how I cut this carrot actually, because carrots roll, which pose a problem with cutting. So I like to stand it up, like I've cut the end off. I'm gonna stand it up and put my fingers around it. I'm gonna slice straight down the center so that I make 2 planks.
What did you call it?
I call them planks. I don't
Planks,
know.
okay.
Isn't that what I mean?
I don't know. I'm learning this. I'm learning this.
Well, I made that up.
strategy
So it's
today.
nice and flat. It's not going to roll. Rolling vegetables or rolling produce with a knife are dangerous. And then it's nice and firm. It's not going anywhere. And then I can just cut them into sticks. So
Now I have learned that eating carrots, trying to pick them up with the plastic forks that you get in the cafeteria, does not work. So you have to scoop them up. All right, this is my least favorite of the 5 vegetables that I chose for you today, but like you said, I try to make a rainbow of vegetables.
I'm impressed.
So I use a yellow squash. The yellow squash is the mushiest of them all. If you live in O&J, which all of you in the audience do, up by the Giant Shopping Center, there's a farm stand that has a little wagon that has fresh vegetables. They look like they have awesome yellow squash. Now, because I don't like the yellow squash, I cut them in half, and then I cut them in half again so that they're in quarters. And that way they're in nice small pieces so that I don't have to spend too long tasting them and having them in my mouth before I shoot them up and cut them up. Wow, this is a really nice looking yellow squash.
Way to sell your product. And I'm going to do the same thing again, because the squash is going to roll. I'm going to slice it straight down the center first so it's stable. And
Did you put olive oil and...
I didn't put anything in because I'm going by your lead, Mr. Creswell.
All right, so now we're going to add, while she's finishing cutting up the planks of yellow squash, I'm going to sprinkle some olive oil in here.
That beep tells us that the temperature is where it should be.
Perfect timing.
It is perfect timing.
This isn't your first rodeo, is it?
Not my first rodeo. So, interesting fact, Mr. Creswell and I went to school together.
Unfortunately, you can't see that in the video.
You're gonna see it when I step on it and slip.
Go ahead. I'm sorry to interrupt your story.
Yeah, Mr. Creswell and I went to school together.
We did. All the way up till 8th grade.
Many, many years ago.
And then you can sprinkle a little bit of that seasoning salt in there.
What do you want? Pepper and salt? Is that all you do? Or what else do you do?
Yeah, that's fine. Just sprinkle a little bit in.
You tell me when.
Good.
Okay.
You
can
then
also
sprinkle a little salt. Now I also can use from time to time like some garlic salt or some seasoned salt. But we're good. This is good. This is actually plenty.
Okay, all right.
Awesome. Now we've got it all mixed up, so it's got the olive oil. It's got the seasonings on it.
In cooking world is incorporated.
Perfect. Exactly.
It's all incorporated.
Exactly. It was on the tip of my tongue, but I couldn't remember. And then we're going to just put half on this tray and half on this tray.
I love all the colors. Look at how bright.
My mom would be very proud. Every time I do vegetables and put them on the tray, I send my mom a picture because I was so picky. And she loves the fact that now I eat vegetables.
That's awesome.
All right, and now we're ready to go.
Proof that even adults can.
Watch your step. Somebody spilled some olive oil.
I don't know what moron did that. Okay. And the temperature, we're going to throw it in it. I'm sorry, the time?
I do it for 25 minutes.
Okay.
But we'll check it after 20.
There we go.
Awesome.
Okay, so before I let you go, and we'll check this later, I asked my guests.
Yes.
We're a little bit messy here. 3 questions. The first question is, one food you can't live without.
One food I can't live without, I would say, is salmon. I love seafood. It's very healthy for you, and I don't get fish enough in my household. So any chance I get seafood, and specifically salmon is a very, very good fish. You can make it a lot of different ways, and it tastes delicious.
That's actually my favorite too.
And I was going to say mint chocolate chip ice cream, but again, we're trying to be healthy here and promote good health. So
wow, you and I like a lot of the same foods. Mint chocolate chip is my favorite ice cream. All right, a favorite memory surrounding food.
So as I was saying in the very beginning of the video, I'm a picky eater, and like I didn't eat well when I was a kid and still don't eat well sometimes. So like when I was trying to think of what my favorite memory is, I don't really have a favorite memory specifically with food, but like any family gathering, like during the holidays when our family gathers together, my mom was always an amazing cook. My wife is a good cook. So whenever we gather as a family, the food that we have is always good, and it just makes me feel like a warm family feeling.
Awesome. So we probably shouldn't point out, but I'm about ready to anyway. You called your mom an amazing cook. You called your wife a good cook.
So I'm hoping that my wife won't see this, or if she does see it, she'll understand why.
Your go-to gadget or favorite kitchen tool is?
That was a hard one too, because I don't like being in the kitchen, but when I do go in the kitchen, everything I do that I'm qualified to make usually is a spatula. Like either pancakes or getting the vegetables off of the tray, or a grilled cheese sandwich, flipping the grilled cheese sandwich, all that stuff I use a spatula.
Awesome. That actually happens to be my favorite tool, a spatula / spreader.
Yes.
And to thank you for being on Bucktown Cooks, you have your very
baby,
commemorative.
This is for me?
That is for you.
Wow, that's going in my memory box for sure. I'm honored. Thank you very much for inviting me today.
And thank you for coming. Can't wait to taste the roasted vegetables.
And I guess I'll say I can't either. Thank you, Ms. Colbert. And watch your step here. I haven't cleaned that up all the way yet.
Yeah, it's still a little slick. All right, thanks. See you guys next time.
Bye, everybody.